Okay, thanks, Abby. That was great. So everybody, Shabbat Shalom. We're gonna have just a word of Torah. So there's a lot of excitement in our country, even though we've been through so much adversity with this pandemic. Um, it looks like vaccines are finally here. It's very close. So that's a great thing. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take a look at what does Jewish law, what does halacha say about vaccines. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through a little couple of sources,
Get back on.
and
All
and yeah.
right.
So let's see what Jewish law has to say about vaccines. Okay, just one moment. Okay, so these are sources that I got from one of my teachers, Rabbi David Golinkin, and a website called Sefaria.org that has lots of great Jewish text. It's a terrific, terrific website. So this was a question asked to Rabbi Golinkin from another rabbi named Ilana Foss. She asked, in recent years, we have witnessed a growing phenomenon of Jews and non Jews who refuse to receive common and accepted vaccines or to give their children vaccines against measles, rubella, polio, and other contagious diseases. This question has become even more acute as we approach the approval of vaccines against the COVID 19 virus, which has already killed nearly 1,500,000 people worldwide. Does halakha, that's Jewish law, require vaccinations? How does Jewish law relate to those who endanger the lives of others by refusing to be vaccinated? May they be prevented from entering schools, synagogues, or other public places? So that's the question. Um, how should we feel about vaccines? So these are a few sources of many that I put together. Um, Bottom line is that the overwhelming feeling in the Jewish legal world is that we are absolutely 100% supportive of vaccines. And so here are a few sources to that effect. Uh, the first, and this is from Rabbi Golinkin, Pikuach nefesh, which is the Hebrew term for saving a life, supersedes almost all the commandments in the Torah. As is well known, Pikuach nefesh supersedes Shabbat, Kashrut, Yom Kippur, and all the commandments in the Torah except idol worship, incest, and bloodshed. If Pikuach nefesh supersedes Shabbat, Kashrut, Yom Kippur, and almost all the mitzvot in the Torah, how much more so does it supersede the infinitesimal risk of getting vaccinated? So that means it's a very, very small risk. And now here are a couple of sources from the Torah itself. This first one is from Exodus chapter 22. Uh, if men fight and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, if he recovers, then he that smote him or hit him shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. That's from Exodus chapter 21. That's a mitzvah. Shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And the commentary from the rabbis of the Talmud says it was taught in the school of Rabbi Yishmael that from the verse, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed, from here we derive that permission is granted to a doctor to heal. The practice of medicine is in accordance with the will of God. So that's clear from the Torah itself. Now this is a verse from Deuteronomy, which in English translates as, "For your own sake, therefore, be most careful. V'nishmartem me'od lenafshotechem." Based on this verse, Rabbi Golinkin, quoting other sources, wrote, "One who walks around without a vaccine during a measles or corona pandemic endangers himself for no reason and has no right to sabotage God's creation." So you're not allowed to endanger your life. And not taking a vaccine, you are endangering your own life. And that is clearly not allowed according to the Torah. And then further, this is a verse from Deuteronomy again. When you build a new house, you shall make a parapet for your roof. A parapet is not two dogs. A parapet is like, like a guardrail around the roof, so that you do not bring blood guilt on your house if anyone should fall from it, from your roof. And this is a teaching on that verse from Maimonides, who is one of the greatest Jewish scholars of all time, 12th century. So he wrote the following: There is no difference between a roof or anything else that is dangerous and likely to cause death to a person who might stumble. Any obstruction that is a danger to life must be removed as a matter of positive duty and extremely necessary. The sages have prohibited many things because they are dangerous to life. If anyone disregards them and says, "What claim have others on me if I risk my own life?" or "I do not mind this," he should be lashed for disobedience. Receiving lashes, for the Talmud and even in the time of Maimonides was a big, big deal. No one is allowed to disregard life and to be sort of laissez-faire about protecting yourself and protecting others. Danger must be removed. That is Jewish law. And finally, this last source, and this is also from a paper that Rabbi Golinkin wrote about vaccinations. In one section of the paper, he cited 18 different contemporary rabbis who all, using Jewish law, using halakha, prove that vaccines are required. We're required to use vaccines, and this is number 17 of those 18 rabbinic scholars. The conservative posek, Rabbi Joseph Prauser, ruled in 2005, with the consent of almost all the members of the Rabbinical Assembly's Committee on Jewish Law and Standards, that parents must vaccinate their children against infectious diseases unless a specific child has a medical problem preventing it. That failure to immunize children against vaccine-preventable disease is a serious compound violation of Jewish law. That Jewish day schools must require vaccination of all children against infectious diseases unless it endangers the life of a specific child, and that unvaccinated children should be denied admission to Jewish day schools. So Rabbi Prauser was speaking specifically about the issue of whether or not schools should admit children who have not taken vaccines. So again, I just wanted to show that the halakha, Jewish law, on this matter is very clear. Unless vaccines are unproven, we should take vaccines, not only to protect our own lives, our lives are ultimately a gift from God, and to protect the lives of others, to remove danger from the world. The vaccines, as you know, that are being tested by Pfizer and Moderna have a very high success rate in the mid-90s. So I mean, they are deemed safe. So I hope that the time comes that when we can take vaccines, that we will do so, and that will help us to get past this pandemic. Thanks, everybody. Shabbat shalom. So we'll